So, welcome ladies and gentlemen to the final of the Dynamic Billiard Euro Tour here in Albufeira, Portugal. What a cracking final we have coming up here. Nick Vandenberg from the Netherlands against David Alcaide from Spain. And with me I have probably I will say the best player actually in the world, really, when you think about it. Mr. Ralf Souquet from Germany. Welcome, Ralf.
Thanks, David.
Looking forward to this one, actually. Seeing these players earlier in the day. David playing so solid, really having a great tournament. And when you think about Nick being here for the European Championships, didn't have his best tournament.
Yeah, he had a hard time at the Europeans, especially in 9-ball, where he was very, very close to reach the medal stages, which would have put him in the so-called A status in the Netherlands. And that's something that all the Dutch players are always trying to achieve, because that's probably worth about 20,000 euros
a year. Yeah,
a year.
Yeah.
So
it's a good system they have there, actually, with that. Oh, a bit of a sloppy safety there from David. Yeah, it's a good system they have in the Netherlands as well, because they, if they get their A status, they get paid a monthly salary. And the good thing about that, I'm not sure if you know all the details of it, but if, for example, Niels playing away, winning tournaments, winning prize money, if he earns over a certain amount in a year, they bank the salary. So they don't get the salary, but it's banked. So if you have a bad year, you can start withdrawing from the bank from your previous earnings.
Oh, that's nice, yeah.
And if you stop, then you're entitled to take it all.
Oh, okay.
So it's banked for you, it's yours, but they don't let you earn 100,000 in a year from tournaments and give you the money every month.
Yeah.
They save that for a rainy day.
Oh, that's nice. So basically that's something that Nick maybe has to go through this year then?
Yeah, his own savings really this year, because he won't get his A status yet unless he goes to the Worlds and wins the World Championships or gets in there. So he's still got a chance. But from the European Championships, he didn't get his A status. Only Mark and Niels actually got their A status here. The girls don't have the A status, or the women.
Oh, they don't have it anymore?
They don't have it anymore. They
okay.
The sports in the Netherlands, whoever decides it, I think it's NOC, the National Olympic Committee, they deem that there's not enough countries participating in the women's sport for it to be worthy of that. I was misled actually on the chat by some of the Dutch people. I don't mean misled in a bad way, but they obviously thought that was it Tamara
Rademacher Peters?
Yeah, they thought that. Yeah,
I don't know which way actually.
It's they thought that she got her A status, but then I checked. It was actually Nick was telling me, because I questioned them about it, and they said, yeah, unfortunately, they don't consider. Okay, we'll try and adjust our microphones a little bit closer. Yeah, just being told on the chat there that you can't hear us too well. Some people would say that's a blessing in my case. But we'll try and keep you entertained during this final. But these guys here will do most of the entertaining. Nick with a chance to take first blood. But yeah, Nick was explaining that there's not enough participation in the women's level or the women's sport for them to consider it at the moment. But maybe that'll change in the future as Nick takes the lead 1-0 through David's. A bit of a poor safety there from David with a 2-ball earlier in the rack. And yourself, Ralph, in Germany, do they have any similar system to the Netherlands?
Unfortunately, we don't.
Okay.
Not the only way, but a very important way, though, for us, or not for us, but for the federation to make money, is when we are successful at the World Games.
Wow.
So when I won the World Games gold medal in 2009, it was like a blessing for the German Federation, because it was, I think, the highest amount ever they made from the government, and so that was a good thing.
Oh, so the German Federation received money for you winning the World Games, winning the gold medal?
Yes, correct.
Is it only the gold, or...?
I thought it was only gold or silver, but I now found out that it's actually, even participating, you get a certain amount.
Okay.
Which is obviously hard enough, because you have to be, it's only a small field of 16 players.
And only 5 from Europe, Ralph.
Yeah.
So, it's not many.
Exactly. So, and yeah, if I'm not mistaken completely, then Joshua has secured a spot for Germany by finishing here in the quarterfinals, and Mark Gray actually not making it into the finals. I think he just passed him by 10 points or so.
Missed out 10 points for a place at the World Games. Wow. That must hurt. 10 points.
And I think that miss by David also hurt a lot. So that was like the second mistake already he made in the match so far, and we are only in game 2.
Yeah.
He had quite a nice break, made 3 balls, and the 3-ball didn't seem that difficult, but very often it happens, especially in the beginning of a match, that you're not really found your rhythm yet, and obviously with the shot clock, even though it's 35 seconds, sometimes that will put a little extra pressure on you, and then those
mistakes
balls are
happen.
missable.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, Ralph, if the pressure or the reason to miss, if you guys never missed, well,
it would be boring.
It would be boring,
yeah.
And it's a lot of it is the concentration. Is that correct? When you're not focusing, thinking of the next shot when you should be thinking of that shot at the time, or where would you put it at?
It could be many reasons. Maybe you're already, on the next ball and not really careful enough of the first shot. Basically, you're thinking about B before step A has been made. But sometimes, it could be nerves too, or just in general lack of focus, which I doubt in this case, because if you are in the finals of a big tournament, then if you're lacking in focus, then there's something wrong.
Yeah. But lack of concentration sometimes, something gets into your head. Like you said, you're thinking of the next route, and you get lost on the first route, as Nick makes it 2-0 now.
Yeah, Nick definitely capitalized from that, and
he'll be breaking here in the third rack, but has played very solid. Was down quite a way, I think. Was it against Thomas Kaplan? In the quarters, he was down a little bit, come back 4-0 down, I seem to remember him.
That I don't know, because obviously I was
you
playing
were
at the same time. So.
Yeah, I'm sure he was 4-0 down, and it looked like he was in trouble, but pulled it back.
And he played very solid in the semis against Mark Gray. I watched almost the whole match, and No, he didn't do anything really bad in that match, and Mark missed a few here and there, which I was surprised, but
yeah, it happens.
It happens. Yeah, that's what actually I did also. You know, I made 2 silly mistakes against David in my semi-final, and got a little unlucky on a break once, where the cue ball scratched and basically got, kicked in. Another time I scratched, but it was my mistake.
All right.
Because I basically drew it right into the side pocket. But missing 2 balls and having 2 scratches on a break in a race to 9.
It's hard. Yeah.
It's hard to get over that.
It's my best friend on the chat, Mr. Dinsmore. We're just reading Fred's comments there. It's not worth repeating, honestly. I'm going to let Trisha know that he's misbehaving. Trisha must be out, It's when the cat's out, the mice play.
That's okay.
I'm going to let Trisha know, Fred. She'll sort you out. You know that. And have you enjoyed the venue here, Ralph?
Yeah. There were certain days where it seemed to be quite chilly in there, for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
And then there were other days where the percentage of oxygen was quite low. Let's put it that way, especially during the Euro Tour.
All right.
So I don't know. That's the only bad thing that I can say about the venue, but all the other was really, really good. I mean, a really, really nice hotel, lovely rooms. Unfortunately, the weather was not so great in the first 10 days.
Yeah, with the European Championships.
A lot
and
of
everything.
rain.
Yeah.
But obviously, we were here to play pool anyways, so.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I have, when we're playing pool tournaments, I would like it raining, because then everyone's inside. The problem is, like today, everyone's outside, sitting around on the sun lounges and everything.
Yeah,
so,
from a spectator's point of view. Or
yeah, look at that.
Course,
and shame, after you guys done a lot of hard work, and, a lot of people outside sunbathing, even to the point where they're getting burns, actually. Yes, talking about Anne-Sophie Lofgren earlier in the chat. And look, she caught the sun a little bit, sat out there too long.
Yeah, I saw her yesterday. Yeah, enjoying a glass of wine and the sun at the same time. Yeah, well, Nick ran out to a 3-0 lead.
Yeah.
Setting the pace here. Basically continues from what he has showed in the semifinals.
Just reading the chat there. I think Fred has been sent to bed. Trish is on the chat now. Hi Trish, lovely to see you, my darling. Hope you're keeping well. Sorry that the sun's shining here while you're not here, but we'll try and send a little bit over to you.
Yeah. Hi Trish.
There you go.
Watch the cue ball.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. That's basically how my second scratch went.
Yeah, cue ball into that pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, there's always a chance when you do the cut break and you try to control the cue ball, and sometimes, just put a little too much spin on it, and then if it goes towards the pocket, there's always a big chance that it goes in.
Lloyd B is just asking a question there. Does Nick have a new style? Staying down a real long time. Have you noticed anything? Well, Nick, I know you've been playing yourself a lot, but I did notice earlier in a shot, possibly the semi-final or quarters, he really stayed down long, almost that the cue ball comes back to hit his arm. Of course, it's going to stop there, but it was quite a long time down. Is that something that you've noticed, or has he spoke about?
Not that I know of, but I mean, I don't know. He may have changed something. I mean, when you are in a period where you don't win a lot, then you're always looking for mistakes or looking to improve things. And maybe he's just trying out something different. And,
he feels that maybe, one of the reasons why.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I noticed in previous matches in the Euro Tour is that he usually had the match that finished last.
Okay, yeah.
That's usually my part,
Maybe he sees you being so successful that he thinks, hang on a minute, I'm going to play like Ralph, and maybe it'll bring me some.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Bring a little golden nugget somewhere. There's a question from 8-Ball there for you, Ralph. Where are you going to play next? Where's your next tournament?
Well, I'm going to New York City tomorrow as we speak and compete in the World Pool Series, which is obviously the new founded tour from Darren Appleton. And I'm looking forward to another great event. He has changed the format a little bit. First event was single knockout all the way, and now he has changed it to double knockout to the last 16, and then switching to the single knockout, similar to the Euro Tour.
All right. Okay, so now it's going to be double elimination and then single from the last 16. Yeah. How many entries are usually there? Is it
I think he has kept it at 96.
Okay, so 96 entrants. Is that like a free-for-all, an open, or are they... Oh, David.
That was a bad contact. That was a skit or a kick, whatever you want to call it. It's not always only a matter of a dirty cue ball. Sometimes bad stroking can also cause this.
Yeah?
If you don't really stroke through the cue ball properly, then a so-called skid or kick can easily happen.
Okay, so it's not only the dirt that can accumulate on the ball over time, it's also... Okay.
But, I mean, it didn't seem that he hit the 9-ball really, really firm, but he had also a funny position, and if you hit it too firm, he was probably, afraid of scratching.
Oh, right, okay.
And that's why you kind of, want to ease the ball a little bit.
Yeah. So he's taking a time out now. He's got to try and get his head back together again. As young Francisco Sanchez runs by to try and give him a bit of encouragement. Because the guys on the chat, the guys and girls on the chat know we're sitting in the foyer here. That's where you hear all the noise downstairs. Just read through the chat, take this opportunity to read through the chat.
Your lovely spouse, Daniela, taking a picture of us here.
Yeah, got a pose for that. Just reading a little bit of the chat there.
Talking about WPS again. It's going to be happen at Steinway's again in New York City, where Darren had the first event, and even Stop 3 in July will be also at Steinway's.
All right. Steinway's Billiards, is that right? Yeah,
correct, yeah.
In New York, yeah.
In Astoria, New York, yeah. Yeah, they basically built like a little arena especially for that, and I think Darren is doing a good job, and now that he has switched to the double knockout, I think it's a little easier to fill the field, because the first event he had a few buys and a few people that dropped out last minute, because
single elimination is tough.
Single elimination, flying from anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And New York City is not the most cheapest city in the world to begin with.
Yeah.
So, no, I think he made the right decision, to be honest.
Okay, so gone to double elimination then.
And, Darren always asks some players around, what do they think about this and this and that. So, he juggled around a little bit with the rules also, and with the prize money breakdown, which I didn't like also in the first event.
Okay.
because there was a big swing from winning 2 matches and receiving $200 or $250 to winning the 3rd match and getting 2,000.
Oh, that's a big jump. Yeah, it's a big jump. So is it more spread now?
It's a little more spread now, and of course because of the double elimination, it gives you at least 2 chances to compete. And,
Okay.
But he also has a second chance tournament.
Okay, so if you do...
If you don't make it to the single knockout, then you are basically not qualified. You are eligible to play in a second chance event, but you have to pay again another entry fee.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
But even there, you can win $4,000.
Okay,
And that's what Francisco Sanchez Ruiz did in the first event.
Yeah.
He didn't make it in the top, I think back then it was top 32, but he ended up winning the second chance
Winning
tournament.
the sort of B tournament, if you like.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, it gives you something to play for. I mean, Nick broke there, made 3 balls off the break. And makes this look easy. There's another question. The last ball, Ralph. The 8 ball is saying he sees a lot of players playing the last ball, like the 9 ball or whatever, the last ball they need, quite firm.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a reason for it, or just slam it in there sort of thing?
Well, I mean, some people trying to calm their nerves down by doing it and basically releasing their arm. And that's, I think, one reason. I personally prefer not to hit it so hard, because obviously if it's an easy shot, then you can hit it a little harder.
Okay.
But why would you give yourself a bigger chance of maybe missing the ball just by
just
hitting
for
it
that,
harder?
yeah. Well, of course, it would be nice, but I think Shun from the Netherlands asking you, are you looking forward to playing the Mosconi Cup this year? Because you're first on the rankings.
Well, I mean, we are only 3 tournaments into the year, and we have 12 in total, so it's still a long ways. But obviously it's
to get there.
Everyone's dream to play in the Mosconi Cup, and I've played it already 16 times, and so I could maybe equalize Johnny Archer, who has 17 appearances.
He has 17, yeah.
But I mean, this is just a side notice. I'm not really, trying to beat anybody, but it's just nice to represent Europe in the Mosconi Cup, because it's the event of the year, no matter what. You know.
I think team events always have a little bit something special.
Of course, and I like playing in team events.
Yeah, I think they are.
So
I'm more interested in the team events actually than individuals at the moment.
And if you have a great crowd, which is always the case at the Mosconi Cup, I mean, what more can you ask for? I mean, you got to
loud sometimes.
Yeah.
How do you cope with that? I mean, because I know you're quite meticulous, and I've seen over the years sometimes where some players can actually get under your skin a little bit.
Well, you have to deal with it. I mean, if this kind of noise brings or creates problems, then you're in the wrong spot.
Right. Okay. So would you like to see more sort of noise like that at events, or
absolutely
more quiet? Yeah, because that's what I'm trying. I want to try and get the youth more into them sort of things, prepare them for later days.
I think it's nothing worse than playing in front of no crowd, or a crowd that is
quiet. Yeah.
Really quiet.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's when you're having such a big event like here with 24 tables at the same time, it's hard if on 4 tables people are making noise when you are playing the next table and trying to make a very, a very difficult shot.
Yeah, it's
obviously
different.
in the Mosconi Cup, there's only 1 table, so it's a lot easier to
adapt to. Yeah, because I mean, they're not going to really shout and scream while you're down on the shot.
Exactly.
But if you're down on the shot, someone else makes a great 9 ball, there's going to erupt.
Yeah.
So there is a difference. I understand that, but no, team events certainly something that I would really like to get more involved with. We have a few plans coming up, so let's hope we can pull a few off.
Hi Jim, how are you doing?
Yeah, it's just repeating a few of the words they sing the song to, huh?
Exactly, yeah.
Sean just adding that Europe will never be quiet. I don't think you have to. I think there should be noise and excitement in these events.
That's why the Mosconi Cup is such a successful event that everybody wants to be part of.
Yeah. And it is because it's a team event as well. It's not individual. When you're individual, you wouldn't have that much emotion from the fans or anything like that.
Of course not.
So it's a team event and they go crazy. But in America, are they the same? They're not as bad as Europeans. Or bad, I don't mean bad in a bad way, but say it in another way, it's good.
The crowd sometimes is a little rude, let's put it that way. But, yeah, well, it's just the way it is, you know. I mean, maybe the Americans asked for it over the years. I don't know.
I think, you know, that's where, of course, the English, which is predominantly English in the crowd.
Yep.
I know there's a lot of foreigners, but predominantly English in the crowd. And we do like our golf, especially when we're beating the Americans. And the Ryder Cup, that, you know, sort of stems over to the Mosconi. When America, you know, the crowd in America at the golf tournaments. Well, David Al-Qaeda gets his first point on the board, trailing Nick Vandenberg 5-1 now. Still got a mountain to climb. But as talking about the golf, so I think it sort of overflows from that. The Americans can be quite rude in the golf, you know, when it's in America. And I think there the English take that little example and want to give it back. And because they're not at the golf tournament, they think, okay, we'll give the Americans back here.
Okay, well, I'm not into the golf too much, so I don't really know about the Ryder. Obviously, I know about the Ryder Cup, but I never really watched it, so I haven't seen the crowd acting like that.
There you go, Mackin. Your beauty was up there, Katarzyna Veselovska. But yeah. And what do you think, actually, about Johan now taking on the coach job for the Americans? That's an interesting one, huh?
A very interesting one, yeah. Me personally, I couldn't do it.
Couldn't?
No. I'm just too proud of a European to be an American coach in the Mosconi Cup.
Mm.
Obviously, being a player might be different, but I mean, he's been the most successful coach on the European side, and now he switches to the other team.
Mm.
It has a funny taste to it, let's put it that way.
Yeah, well, he's putting his reputation on the line as well, I think. You know, because I think it's going to take more than a good coach to turn the Americans around. I really do believe that. And don't get me wrong, Johan, I don't know how Johan coaches and everything like that. I know it's a lot of mental things and preparation. But I just think the Americans need a little bit more than that. And I think because Johan's in Europe, living in Europe, he hasn't got the same bond with them that he had with you guys.
That's true.
He was at the Euro Tour all the time. So he's meeting with the same players who are going to be playing. And he has that bond.
Yep.
But to go over there, you're going to be an outsider straight away. How are you going to give them all a team hug and get them all together? It's going to be a tough one, I think.
That I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much time he will spend with the American players before the Mosconi and try to get them together as a team. Oh, here we see that position shot by Nick.
First one, I might add.
Yeah.
In this final, first one. But yeah, I think there, and that is a big difference because Johan was at the Euro Tour, so obviously he was with the Dutch team most of the time. He's now with the Russian team.
Yeah.
You know, so he spends his time at the Euros, and he sees you guys all the time. Oh, what a shot! No answer for that one. that must hurt. When you're sitting in a chair.
Destiny.
Yeah, when you're sitting in a chair, you're trading 5-1, and your opponent does that. That must hurt.
Especially after you snookered yourself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Pretty bad.
Self-inflicted, and you get out of it like that. Wow. And David there, all he can do is smile.
Yeah, well, it's going to be 6-1 very soon.
Yeah. race to 9. I asked the girls to be back for 8 o'clock.
Okay.
So could be we have to start running around for them.
Chase them down.
Chase them down. Get back in here for the presentation and award ceremony. I mean, normally an hour between you guys. It's a good bet with a shot clock. But
Yeah.
there's only one horse at the races at the moment, and that is Nick Vandenberg, leading now 6-1. David, ranked number 1 on the Euro Tour rankings. He's had a good year.
Yes, definitely having a very good year. Or let's say a good last 5 months, including the big win at the Whirlpool Masters
Yeah,
in Gibraltar,
yeah.
where he also beat me in the first round. Here, at least, I made it to the semifinals.
Yeah, but he beat you in the first round there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we are teammates in the same team in Germany.
In
So,
Germany,
yeah.
okay, as well. He plays for your club,
Mm-hmm.
yeah? In the Bundesliga.
In the Bundesliga, yeah.
Because you used to play in Spain some years ago,
Yeah.
didn't you? When Peter April and those were...
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. So I remember you playing in Spain a little bit.
Yeah, he basically recruited me for the team in Spain, and I kind of recruited him for our team in Dachau.
Okay. So he flies over for that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't really play much this season. He only was there for 1 weekend because he had too many other things in Spain and Portugal at the same time.
Oh, right. Okay.
But, yeah.
Who else is in your team then?
Albin Ushan, Mario Hay, and Manuel Ederer.
Okay, not bad then.
Not bad, then, yeah.
World champion, Euro Tour ranking number 1.
Yeah.
Yourself, you know, and then just throw in Manuel Ederer and
Mario Hay.
Mario Hay. Well,
And we have Sebastian Ludwig also as a backup.
okay. Well, that's not a bad player either.
Yeah.
I've got to ask, with the preparations for the European Championships, what I did notice here that, of course, you only came in for the 8 and 9 ball.
Well, yeah.
And we had Andreas Roszkowski was here for the straight ball and 10 ball, along with, is it Geronimo?
Weissenberger,
and,
yeah.
yeah, a couple. So you
And-
swapped over.
Mhm.
Do you think that's an advantage or a disadvantage?
Well, it's a very,
Delicate situation?
very delicate and very hard to say, actually. I mean,
Okay.
previous years have shown that towards the end of a European Championship, you kind of without power. Because if you go really deep into the tournament, in 1 or 2 disciplines, you've played so much that it could obviously help and boost for the remainder of it. But it can also make you really, really tired. And so that the last 2 disciplines are more or less, you're out of power.
Okay.
On the other hand, if you have 2 bad showings in the first 2 disciplines, then you're maybe so depressed and down that it's even harder to go into the next 2 disciplines, including the team.
Okay.
So the German Federation thought that, especially this year with the World Games, very important for them, that they want to have fresh players in the 9-ball division to have a really, really big chance to maybe get 1 or 2 players into the finals. Obviously,
Okay.
that didn't happen.
Okay.
On top of that, Joshua did not play the European Championships because he is finishing school right now, so he had no time to be away from school that long, so he only came for the Euro Tour.
All right. Well, it might have paid off. I mean, it is obviously the final calculations have
Yeah.
to be done, but it does look like that Joshua has taken the 2nd place on the
And,
Euro Tour rankings, which sends him to Poland.
Exactly.
So the German Federation will be happy with that result.
Yeah, absolutely. First
Wow,
dry break
yeah.
by Nick.
6-2 the score.
could be a crucial situation. If David could win this one and maybe breaks and runs out the next one, all of a sudden we have a tight match.
Yeah.
Again.
It's going to be tough getting to the 2 here, though, because of the 5 on the rail.
Yeah.
2 right down the other end.
I mean, he could maybe avoid hitting the 5, but then he has to hit it soft, and he gets no shot on the 2. If he hits it harder, then it will basically bounce off the 1 a lot harder. So,
and then he gets it. Oh.
Well, of course, it was a little bit like shoot and hope, and
I think he expected more of a dampener after hitting that 5 there. Played it extra hard.
Yeah.
But it bounced off at a 5 there pretty quick.
But I think he should be quite happy with the result. It could be way worse.
Oh, yeah. Got a snooker there.
Safety there, yeah.
He's, remember Thomas Engert, your old roommate for many years. Is he still playing?
I haven't seen Thomas for many years now. I think he is playing, but only in like the 4th or 5th division in Germany, basically just for fun.
All right, okay. So not really carrying on the Bundesliga, such at the top level. Just.
I think he decided to just take it easy, enjoy life, repair motorcycles in his spare time.
Motorcycles, yeah, because he has a pool room as well. Doesn't he
has a pool room.
Yeah.
But he still is. I think it's still quite successful. And then, besides that, he works as a Harley Davidson repair guy.
Harley Davidson repair guy.
Yeah.
Okay, not just any motorbike.
No. I think he owns 1 or maybe 2 Harleys by now.
Okay.
And I also heard that he grow his hair like quite long as a
bit of hippie,
typical,
yeah, like a real rocker sort of thing.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, that'll be fun because it always used to be short hair. So, Engert the hippie, or not the hippie, the rocker. You don't get many hippies driving a Harley. They're normally the rockers.
Nice kick shot here by Nick. See, that's the difference between having a roll and things are going good for you or bad. For David now, things are going bad, which means pretty good jump shot, but the 2 ball only rolls in front of the side pocket. Basically leaves Nick quite an easy shot.
Oh, look at the cue ball though. Oh.
Oh, maybe I'll take that back. But,
wow.
But anyways.
Yeah. The roll.
If the shot would have been probably Nick's, maybe the 2 ball would have rolled an inch further, that you can't make it in the side, and you can't do anything with it, because otherwise you're going to scratch. So those little things usually make the big difference.
But David now has a great chance here. Balls are all open, are ready to take. Yeah, Jim just pointing out, commentators curse. I don't know how many times that happens actually, where you tell, just like you did, you're going to say something and then all of a sudden they miss or something happens. It's just one of those things.
Obviously it was an easy shot to make. Getting position is always a different story.
Yeah. Okay. There's a few suffering with volume problems out there. Sorry about that. We're trying our best. We put the microphone as close as possible. The next step is we're going to be eating them.
I was just going to say.
But the guys are busy in there with a camera mixing.
If it's any closer, I'm licking on it.
Shush! I wonder what we're talking about, Ralph. It's almost eating the microphone. But yeah, there's a few with bad volume and a few with good. There you go.
Oops. Another big miss by David here. It's completely like night and day from the match in the semis against me and now against Nick. But it happens. I mean, that's just the way it is. If everybody was playing perfect all the time, then we would have the decision who wins the match by the leg.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. If you never missed, then it just doesn't work. You know, it's all sports. You have play a bad shot or something like that. It happens. All top sportsmen.
Yeah, we are only human beings, not machines. And even machines make mistakes.
They certainly do. That's
Nice safety here.
Good shot there from David.
Looks like a two-rail kick. Short rail, long rail. The question is, where do you hit the 7? If he hits it full on, then maybe he can keep the cue ball behind the 8. Oh, he basically smashed it. I think that was kind of a shoot and hope situation here. But that's the problem with the shot clock, you know. You don't really have enough time to measure and oh, it's not the thinking, but it's you know, a little bit the measuring and I mean, some players, they just play out of their belly, so to speak. You know, just they look at a shot and that should be around here, and then they hit it. But most players kind of have a system and you know, try to hit the ball at a certain spot and try to play a resave, obviously.
Yeah. You see Nick, obviously one of those. Without shot clock, he does the measuring with the cue, angles, everything like that. As David reduces the deficit, now trailing 3 games to 6.
Yeah, that's the downside of the shot clock, really. That you know, sometimes it would be just helpful to have a little more time to, you know, measure, and of course it doesn't have to be a whole minute, but
Just doing a little sound check there. We've got confirmation from our colleagues inside the booth that volume is okay. They've been checking, so some of you guys and girls need to get a different sound system. But that's what we've been advised anyway.
There's a question here if there's a shot clock at the German Bundesliga. Yes and no. Normally there's not. But, for example, we had the so-called derby, which are 2 clubs that are very close in our area, which is Fürstenfeldbruck and Dachau, my team. And this weekend, but the weekend we played them, we played completely with shot clock.
All right. Okay, just that match?
Just these 2 matches,
them.
Yeah. We played... First day we played away at their home, and then next day we played it at our home. And those 2 matches were played with shot clock. Okay. But all the other matches are usually not played with shot clock. But when you are at home, you can basically make the decision to have the shot clock. So it's...
Also, so when you're at home, you can make a decision.
Yeah.
You can call, okay, this match is going to be shot clock or not.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is that through all your matches, all through the Bundesliga, or just...
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the home
That's
team.
how it should be. But the other problem is that most other teams don't have enough referees to even have a shot clock.
Okay.
And,
So that becomes a problem.
yeah.
And probably that's why generally it's not used.
Exactly. Yeah.
I see.
And again, I still believe that the shot clock should be 45 seconds. So 35 plus 10. Then there's still enough time to really, measure around. I think the 35 is in general not long enough.
Yeah. Because at the moment we are using 25 plus 10.
That's what I mean. 25
So
plus 10.
That
I would prefer 35 plus 10.
35 plus 10. Okay.
Which is a big difference. I know at the Mosconi Cup or all the matchroom events you only have 30 seconds, so it's 25 plus 5.
Okay, so it's just a 5, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Because we had our Asian referees at the European Championships. They actually tell you, where we have been saying time, there's 10 seconds. They actually tell you 10 seconds and then 5 seconds, which is pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Not just time. They just say 10 seconds
And then
5
another
seconds.
warning at 5,
And
yeah.
you know that what's going on. So
Now it's time to release, yeah.
yeah, thought that was pretty cool. So see if the European referees take that on board and maybe implement something like that. I know there was a point where we used to give a warning years ago of, sort of 5 seconds and things like that, but I don't know where that got lost.
Well, the problem is that when you have too many tables, like here in the EC, and you have too many referees basically close to each other, then sometimes you may be listening to the referee from the next table.
Yes. Yeah.
So, it depends on how big the arena is and how much space in between the tables you actually have, so that you can actually only hear your referee.
I did see that actually at one of the finals or semi-finals here, that middle table, the referee didn't say a word. It was called on maybe this table or the other side, and the player sort of turned around and looking, make sure, was that me? I only just got here, So, it was a bit strange. And I suppose it can put you off a little bit. I remember some years ago, a girl player from Finland, Pia Vähäsörinki, the small
I
one from
remember
here.
her, yep.
And at times when a shot clock was called on her match, that was game over. For her, she struggled. She would be in tears that a shot clock comes because of the added pressure. Good player, but as soon as you bring a shot clock there, that was it. Game over. You just knew that the opponent would win. And she just goes to pieces.
Yeah, some players just completely fall apart under the shot clock.
Yeah.
Here, we just saw a nice jump shot by David. A little unlucky that the cue ball just got stopped, I think, at the 3 ball. And now he has no shot on the 2. He has to kick. And again, with the shot clock, you don't really have much time to come up with the master plan.
No. Yeah.
You go basically by the first instinct, and you hit it pretty well here.
Yeah, that was pretty close. I think, has he got a snooker? He has.
Yeah, I think he got a little lucky here.
There's someone asking you there that you're going to be in Steinway soon. How is your present relationship with Earl Strickland so far?
Which relationship?
Best of buddies?
Yeah, I actually got a room with him.
I wonder if anyone actually does.
I have no idea, actually. I think Jason Shaw did for a little while.
Wow. Yeah.
Nice
really?
jump shot by Nicky, by the way. Well, basically, I don't have a relationship with Earl. I never had, and I probably never will have one. Earl is Earl, and I think he hates himself in one way. So, no, I mean, I really respect him as one of the greatest players that ever lived, and probably the greatest shot maker.
He hates jump shots, doesn't he? He thinks they should be banned.
No, he hates jump cues.
Jump cues. Okay, so it's a jump cue that he hates. Right, okay.
Because he's a very good jumper with his full cue, with the full length cue.
I see. I thought it was jump shots that he didn't like, but it's
No,
the
basically
jump
it's
cue.
the jump cue, the little gimmick that makes it so easy to jump. Oh,
I think he's got a little snooker. Yeah,
Yeah.
David apologising, tapping a table.
well, I don't really think there's a reason to apologize for it. I mean, obviously, he had to kick the ball, and of course you're hoping for
Yeah.
a resave, and
But a lot of players do, though, don't they? If they miss a shot
Well,
like that, they
I mean,
tap the
it's-
table. So
if it's like really bad, I mean, if you miss a ball here and it goes somewhere else, then I think it's okay.
yeah,
It's fair to
Yeah.
apologize, or but a kick shot like that, where you're under pressure, under time pressure, and this and that, I don't think there's really need to apologize. But it is what it is.
yeah. And Nick has left David with a clear 3.
Yeah.
Just looking now at the 4, goes to the middle. Oh, Thomas Overbeck just put on there, he hates me. And Jim's reply, we all hate you. And I thought I was the only one getting all of that. Oh, David. Well, you asked for it, Thomas.
I think David was going to shoot the 4 ball in the same pocket than the 3, and he misjudged it. So now he needs to come up with something good here. Tries to get the cue ball right behind the 5. I think that's a little short.
Yeah, I think David can. I think Nick can still see this 4.
This shot here could decide the whole match. If he makes it and runs out, it could be it. If not, he may have a tight game.
Oh,
Nice
what a
shot.
shot! That was a tough shot as well.
And this one is even tougher.
It's quite straight as well. Not straight, a little angle, but not much. Going to try and kill the cue ball there.
We'll have to see the angle, if he can follow through or if he can actually basically stop or hold the cue ball. Nice shot.
2 in a row there.
Big point. That could be.
Takes this 9. It'll be 7-3. And some tough shots in that rack. 2 in a row. First the 4 and then the 5. There were 2 toughies then.
Yeah, those are the games that you need to win.
Yeah, when it's like that. Yeah.
And when it goes back and forth, bad safety, bad kick, and so, and then your opponent basically has the chance
Yeah. Yeah.
and dogs it.
Really, I mean, he had the 3, clear 3,
Yeah.
and it was 4 to the middle. And he had
Or
bad
the same
position.
pocket, and
Yeah.
he ended up right in the middle, and played just a poor safety, which again is not so easy when you're under pressure with the shot clock, and maybe with 10-15 more seconds he would have had also a good shape on a 4.
Is that something with a shot clock you've brought up with the EPBF sports director?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. And was there a reply at all, or is it something to look into, or was it
Well, I think it was when they came up with the times 25 plus 10, it was basically meant for the time when the match really goes slow.
okay.
Like in China, they play with 40 or 45 seconds, but they play every match, every round, right from the beginning.
Okay,
And
right.
that's okay. And by doing so, you still save a lot of time. But when you play, you know, a normal match and you don't have a shot clock, and the match goes really, really slow, then you can implement the shot clock and maybe have it at 35 or 25 plus 10, the way you have it. So I think it was just a little misinterpreted.
Well, it's interesting. Interesting to hear that. Because, I mean, it's, to be honest, I've never known it any different than 25 plus 10, you know, in all the years when we've had shot clocks here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, because...
different events, you know, but never known it any different. Oh.
That's...
Now that deserves an apology. Missing the ball like that and ended up in that position.
That's 9 ball.
Yeah.
That's the way... And that's why I like to play call shot 9 ball and call safety.
Okay, call shot and call safety. Okay, so if you snook at someone accidentally and call safety, then of course... Oh, wow. Wow.
Well, that's also one out of 20.
Yeah.
With the of maybe even less with the shot clock, you know.
Yeah, sure.
If you have enough time to measure everything, then it's a different story. Of course you can make it, but under the pressure of the shot clock, this is like you shoot and you hope that you're gonna hit it halfway decent and leave maybe nothing.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty.
Jump shots, doesn't he? He thinks they should be banned.
No, he hates jump cues. You know, answer some questions sometimes, and then you have to talk about